Now, their most recent encounter disgraced their sport and led to one of them being banned. London boxers David Haye and Dereck Chisora made worldwide headlines when they brawled at a news conference in Germany. Well, today it was announced that they will fight again, and this time inside the ring. And to get around Chisora's ban, the promoter Frank Warren has enlisted the help of authorities in Luxembourg, even though the fight will be held at West Ham's football ground. More now from Rags Martel.
Separated by a steel fence, the boxers came face to face, two controversial heavyweights with plenty of fighting talk.
You know, the problem with me, David, is I talk. I know how to fight.
This is going to be an exhibition. I'm going to break this guy down.
Let's fight. This was the last time the two men met. David Haye interrupting a Dereck Chisora press conference. A heated argument turned into a fight. The brawl was condemned. Haye was seen to throw a tripod. Chisora had a glass bottle in his hand, but today none of the fighters regretted their actions.
If I was in exactly the same situation again, I would not be the victim, so I would do exactly what I'd do again. If I was in the same position, because I don't like getting beaten up. What would you do if you know the guy's got a consistent history?
I never get into a fight with anyone.
Well, there you go. I said, well, I'm a professional fighter. This is what I've done. I've done it since I was 3 years of age. So I'm a fighter. When I get into situations, confrontational situations, I fight.
Chisora is a controversial figure. In February, he slapped his opponent at the weigh-in and then spat water before the fight.
You don't sound very remorseful.
Do I look it?
No, not at all.
Exactly.
You don't think boxing's image has been damaged by what
Boxing
you
image has never been damaged. It's not damaged, my friend.
Chisora had his licence withdrawn by the British Boxing Board of Control. This fight will be under the jurisdiction of the Luxembourg Boxing Federation.
Well, the British Boxing Board of Control don't licence either the fighters. David Haye's not licensed by them, but it's licensed by a governing body called the Luxembourg Boxing Board of Control, who actually are affiliated with the Boxing Board of Control through the EBU.
Despite the many criticisms, the media interest is intense. The two fighters will get their payday, but ultimately it could be boxing that suffers most. Rags Martel, London Tonight, West Ham.
The last time they met, of course, was on the floor of a conference venue in Munich. They were the scenes that disgraced British boxing in particular. Haye had retired his licence, but Chisora subsequently had his taken from him. Haye, though he expressed regret at the time, maintains vehemently he would do the same again.
I've never had anyone come up to me and say, David, you was out of order for defending yourself there. When Dereck Chisora came down in front of you, took off his jacket with all his mates behind him, you was on your own with Anna Booth. You should have stood there and waited until he punched you in the face before you did something. Are you crazy?
Now licensed by the boxing authorities in Luxembourg, Chisora and Haye are free to fight at West Ham United's ground on July the 14th. Some would say seriously undermining the British Boxing Board of Control.
The board have to make a stance on this situation. You know, they are the sanctioning body of this. It's like Luxembourg Parliament coming over here and setting up a parliament and telling us they're going to run our country, isn't it? We might as well get rid of David Cameron.
Well, fellow boxing promoter Frank Maloney says the fight would be bad for British boxing because it sends out the wrong message.
Well, I'm not surprised because, you know, professional boxing is about money, controversy sells. What has sort of surprised me is that they're not licensed by our British Boxing Board of Control, they're licensed by Luxembourg Federation, and it's going to take place in Britain. It leaves a lot of questions unanswered and a lot of doors open. And then I ask myself, why is this fight happening? These guys are two losers. It's happening because of a punch-up in a press conference. And what sort of message is that sending out to young people? So if you want to get on in the sporting world, be a thug.